49ers faithful? It is your boys, Jose and Juju. 49 Reasons Listen to right here. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to hit that like. Be sure to hit that bell icon, of course, to get updated when we drop new videos as, we continue to progress through this offseason. Obviously, tons of blame to go around after the NFC Championship game loss. And one person has escaped relatively unscathed and not getting enough conversation in the why we lost argument. And that's why we're providing this video. We're talking about the punter situation, obviously the most important position on the football field. Jose, I know you've been deep into the scouting of potential punters to replace Mitch Wishnowsky. Anyone catching your eye?
Well, actually, I think a guy like Pat McAfee will be happy the fact that we're doing a video like this for the brand. This is, like you mentioned, it is the most important position in all of football. Without this position, the punter position, you don't win football games. I think that's pretty clear. Looking at teams like the Los Angeles Chargers, who don't like to use their punter ever, and they obviously didn't make the playoffs. So it goes to show you that you need a punter to win. And we thought we had a good one. We thought we drafted one in the 3rd round a few years back, and that was Mitch Wishnowsky, who, credit to him, he started the year very, very well. First week of the season, he actually won NFC Special Teams Player of the Week. And then it kind of went downhill after that. And yeah, you mentioned the blame that we're going to have on him. Yeah, he didn't ever put us in a good position, to put our defense in a good position to where the opposing team had to go 98 yards, 95 yards. We never saw that with the Niners. Now, there's this kid in Southern California, San Diego State specifically, and I'm telling you, Niner faithful, if you've not seen a San Diego State game before, just go on YouTube and Google Matt Araiza. And this dude could just absolutely beam the football. When I'm saying 70 yards, I'm not being over dramatic. I'm not like over exaggerating when I say 70 yards. He could go from your 30-yard line to the opposing team's 10. And I'm not joking. Go look at even his videos in the NFL combine of this past weekend. And this guy could absolutely beam it. Now, the question becomes, should the Niners again draft a punter in this draft to replace the guy that we drafted just a few years ago? What do you think, Juju? Should we take a shot on the San Diego State kid?
I would love to say yes, because I do think that we do need to improve at that position. But Kyle Shanahan, just a couple years ago when he drafted Mitch Wishnowsky, would probably disagree, just because his exact phrase, his exact terminology after they drafted Mitch was, we drafted a punter so we don't have to worry about ever looking at punter tape ever again. And here we are, literally just like a couple years later, and we're talking about this new kid that we have to expend draft capital on potentially. But yes, if you need to just put yourself into an online kind of rabbit hole, then look up Matt Araiza's tape, some really impressive highlights coming out of the combine. And certainly if you really just want to go down his YouTube rabbit hole of looking up his punts in the San Diego State games, why not? But yeah, and the seriousness of this conversation here, I was very disappointed with Mitch's performance in the NFC Championship game. And the Niners have struggled from a special team standpoint for a while. And I know we forgave them when they got the big block punt against Green Bay and Robbie came through with the big kick, and the fact that they won us a playoff game. So credit to that group, credit to Richard Hightower on his way out the door, gained us a big playoff victory. But Mitch has been pretty mediocre for the majority of his time with the Niners. And then I look at the Rams game and I'm thinking back to that 4th down, which I totally think the Niners should have went for it on. And we're at the 50, we're at midfield, and he barely gets the kick to the 17-yard line. It just kind of looks like he got it wrong off his foot. And I see other NFL kickers with that exact same opportunity, and they hit it into, what is it called, the coffin corner there. They pin a guy within the 5 to 10-yard line. And in a game of inches, we were talking about 1 inch at a time, the old Al Pacino speech. We need every bit of our special teams, our punters, to just be setting up our team in good spots. And I don't think Mitch does that well. I don't think he really does a great job of earning his spot on this team. And obviously he's going to have to get a new contract here soon, because I think his rookie deal has to be coming towards an end as well. And it's should the Niners really consider re-signing him? I get the idea. You don't want to even spend that much time in the offseason thinking about punters, but you kind of have to think, why are we losing games? Why are we coming up short in a game in which every yard matters? Mitch Wishnowsky is not exactly setting us up in great opportunities to win these games. And I think it is something that we can look at objectively, because we see how far the ball goes off his foot, and it doesn't go as far as other kicks off other punters' foots. So I think Mitch Wishnowsky seems to be a below average punter to me, at least just off the eye test, the visuals, not even looking at the stats. He just seems like a below average punter.
Yeah, you mentioned that his kicks don't go as far as some other punters. One of those other punters includes Matt Araiza. Okay, this kid absolutely just hammers the thing down the field. And I'm telling you right now, if we're in the 4th, 5th round and he's still on the board, I want him to be a Niner. If he's still on the board, let's say 4th, 5th, or maybe even 6th round, like I said, some of these teams aren't even looking for punters. Teams would rather just go for it on 4th and 5 on their own 20, it seems like nowadays. So there is a good chance that he could still possibly be up there in the 4th and 5th round. And if he is, I say we absolutely take a shot on him. And then, we'll see what kind of production we could get from the defense when you have a guy who could absolutely pin the opposing team back all the way to inside their 5, inside their 10-yard line consistently. Then we'll be able to see how good this defense could be whenever the opposing team has to go 90 plus yards on almost every drive, because from what we've seen from Matt Araiza is that he could consistently do that. He did that. Punter is one of those positions where it's like, in college, if you're a good punter in college, there's a good chance you could be a good punter in the NFL. It's not like any other position where it's like, oh, you have to develop yourself into this new, basically, player just to be great in the NFL. With the punter, it's just your leg, right? You're just basically using your leg. And if your leg's already good, it's just improving everything else and improving the accuracy of some of the kicks. And yeah, I think he would be a home run hit if we could get him in the 4th or 5th round.
Here's the problem. It's a value thing. The draft is about value. The fact that the Niners went out and drafted Mitch Wishnowsky in the first place was them putting a bad value on a punter. Punters should be like, think of fantasy draft, right? We don't draft kickers until the very last round. And if you draft kickers anywhere except the last round, you are a fucking idiot, my friend. I don't care if it's Justin Tucker. You wait until the last round to draft your kicker. And that's kind of like how the real life game is, because you don't see too many Sebastian Janikowskis. And you look at what the Bucs did with Robert Aguayo a few years back, and they look like idiots doing it. That's how people looked at the Niners first drafting Mitch. And I just looked it up, so we do have an objective measure. Mitch Wishnowsky, in terms of net yards on the season, was the 21st ranked punter. 21, so literally below average. I wasn't bullshitting when I said I felt like he was a below average punter. He literally is a below average punter. And you mentioned Matt Araiza should be more than fine based off what he's doing right now. But where do you make that determination on where you would draft a guy like him? Given, again, you've already spent that value 2 years ago. You just bet wrong. You bet on the wrong guy. And the Niners don't exactly have a ton of draft capital to work with. The way it's looking, he might actually be closer to a 3rd round pick. I'm sure like a guy who's legitimately a generational talent at the punter position might draw a few more eyes from a team that just needs that. You're telling me Bill Belichick, who values all the mid-level positions, isn't going to look at punter and think to himself, oh man, I got to get this kid. I mean, hell, he drafted the racist place kicker a few years back. You don't tell me he's not going to draft the generational talent out of San Diego State. No, but I think it would be a great pick. The problem is just the Niners have too many other needs to address that have more importance to the overall game than the punter position. No disrespect, Pat McAfee. I think it is something that they need to get better at. I am not saying it's not unimportant, because I do think, again, I think give us back 10 yards on that final drive that the Rams were able to pull off. And it could make all the world to us to have them backed up against their own goal line and just allowing the pass rush to pin their ears back and go after Matthew Stafford. That's a difference maker thing. That's just a different feel to the game whenever you have a guy that could literally flip the field like that. Or hell, we never even see Mitch throw a pass. He's not even doing Johnny Hecker stuff. So Does Matt Araiza have that in his bag? I haven't seen his arm. I've just seen his legs so far. I'm impressed. Certainly one way to get a leg up on the competition. Anyway, guys, let us know. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to draft the punter this year? Matt Araiza, is he that generational leg? Is he that, was it Ray Guy of this generation? Let us know in the comments below. Leave a like on this video. Just a fun, quick one here. But we have plenty more videos coming along the line, guys. So hit that subscribe button. 49 reasons listen. A million dozen 2 reasons subscribe. Juju Talk Sports, Jose Corral. Stay safe, happy, and healthy. We'll see you on the next one.